Christina writes, between 1996 and 2010, the Australian state of Victoria experienced dry conditions, a period known as the Millennium Drought. During this time, over half of the catchments had declines in annual stream flow of 20 to 40%. Water restrictions were applied by various corporations across the state, and here in Melbourne, we were forbidden to water the grass in our gardens. As time went by, the grass withered and died, and the ground became dry and hard, and many cracks appeared. One sunny summer's day, I sat out on a step in the garden to have my lunch. The place looked desolate, but the thought came to me that the deserts appear to be uninhabited wastelands, but in reality, they are teeming with all kinds of wildlife. So, I decided to look more closely at the brown earth. Suddenly, I saw a small, round hole a few feet away from me, and beside it lay a small, round lid that would have been the perfect shape to fit over the hole. I had never seen one before, but I knew that this was the burrow for a trapdoor spider. This wasn't just a rough old hole in the ground. It could have been 40 centimeters long inside, and its walls would be lined with silk. I knew that the spider would sit inside, and sensitive hairs on its legs would feel the vibrations of approaching prey. I sat in awe, just admiring this beautiful piece of architecture. How many times a day had I passed it and never knew it was there? But today was the day that God would show me that I should search for incredible beauty in desolate places. Suddenly, I noticed that another little creature had entered this lovely place. An ant had found a very large crumb that had inadvertently fallen from my sandwich. He had picked it up and was running excitedly back to his colony. He had all the space in the world in which to go, but he chose to run right past the trapdoor. In an instant, the spider reached out, and the little ant and the crumb were dragged inside. I was devastated. One moment I was in awe, observing God's amazing creation, and the next moment I felt like I was to blame because of my breadcrumb. About 4 seconds later, I was still watching dumbfounded, and I saw the ant frantically climbing back out of the hole. He didn't hesitate. He continued his journey back to his colony, and what amazed me was that he still had about 1/3 of the crumb in his mouth. Ants are team workers and toil together in order to create something great. They serve one another. They are driven by purpose, and they put all their time and energy into this. This little ant would have been understood if he had just escaped with his life, but he considered his job was to bring food to the colony, and he never considered going home empty-handed. God tells us to watch the ant and learn from him, as it is written in Proverbs chapter 6, verses 6 to 8. Go to the ant, you sluggard, Consider her ways and be wise, which, having no captain, overseer, or ruler, provides her supplies in the summer and gathers her food in the harvest. How long will you slumber, O sluggard? When will you rise from your sleep?